All right, so you're ready to start your bonsai journey.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, yeah. So you want to know how to get a tree, huh?
That's the first step.
That's the first step, yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can't just go grab any old tree from the woods, right?
Well, not exactly.
Not exactly.
You can, but there are some things you should consider.
So let's walk through this.
Okay.
What are our options here?
So if you want to get started right away,
Mm-hmm.
you could buy a pre-bonsai.
Like a pre-made bonsai, so to speak.
Yeah, they've had some initial shaping and training done.
So it's kind of like a head start, right?
Exactly. You don't have to start from scratch.
Like a shortcut to get going.
You could say that.
Okay, and where would you even get something like that?
You can find them at some nurseries.
Hmm.
There are also bonsai specialty nurseries.
Oh, like a nursery just for bonsai?
Yeah,
Oh, cool. So you can see a lot of variety there.
you can see the quality and what a good bonsai should look like.
That makes a lot of sense.
Of course, you always want to choose a healthy specimen.
Of course. So what are we looking for there?
Vibrant foliage, no signs of pests or diseases.
Right, that makes sense.
Strong root system, too.
So you're really inspecting it pretty thoroughly.
You want to set yourself up for success.
Absolutely.
And there are certain species that are popular for pre-bonsai.
Okay, what are we talking about here?
Pines, junipers.
Classic bonsai.
Yeah, they're known for that rugged evergreen look.
Mm-hmm.
Maples are also popular.
Beautiful, especially in the fall.
Exactly.
So many options.
Yeah, so many.
But I'm guessing pre-bonsai isn't the only way to get started.
Right. You could start from seed.
From seed.
It's a much longer journey, of course.
I was about to say, that takes a lot of patience, right?
It really does, but it can be very rewarding.
I bet. So what's involved there?
So first, you have to select your seeds.
Oh, why is that?
Some are easier to germinate than others.
Oh,
Then you soak and stratify the seeds.
stratify. What's that?
It's mimicking the natural conditions a seed would need to germinate.
Okay, I see.
Like some seeds need a period of cold, moist conditions.
Interesting.
So you would refrigerate them for a while.
Oh, wow. In the refrigerator.
Yeah, before planting.
That's cool.
After stratification, you sow the seeds in a special soil mix,
Gotcha.
then provide light and wait.
I bet that first sprout is like magic.
It really is.
It is.
Quite a moment.
So pre-bonsai, seed, any other ways to get a tree?
Well, what if you already have a plant you love?
Ooh. Like from a regular nursery.
Yeah,
Can I turn that into a bonsai?
you can, but not all plants are suitable.
Oh, I see.
So what are we looking for here?
Yeah, what makes a good bonsai candidate?
You need a thick trunk,
Okay.
nice branch structure,
All right.
and it needs to be a species that can be miniaturized.
Like what?
Something with small leaves
Okay.
and good ramification potential so it branches out nicely.
And what about the shaping? I'm guessing we don't want to go too crazy right away.
Right, it's a gradual process.
Yeah.
You start with simple pruning and wiring.
So you're basically training it over time.
It's exactly building your skills as you go.
I like that. Now, I've heard of this technique called air layering.
Ah, yes, a bit more advanced but still accessible.
I'm intrigued.
So you stimulate root growth on a branch
Wait, on a branch.
while it's still attached to the parent tree.
Wow.
And once those roots are established, you separate it.
So you're creating a new tree from a branch.
That's right.
Why would you do that?
It's good for propagating a specific branch
Okay.
or correcting a poor root structure.
So it's like a bonsai problem solver.
You could say that.
Cool. So we've got a lot of options for getting a bonsai tree. Lead
Yeah.
bonsai, seed, nursery plant, even air layering.
A lot of different approaches.
But no matter how you get your bonsai,
right.
there are some basic care guidelines that are important.
Absolutely. Those are crucial for keeping your bonsai healthy.
So let's talk about those.
Let's do it. So let's start with watering.
Okay, watering.
It's super important to get this right.
I bet. Too much or too little, and you're in trouble, right?
Exactly. It's a balance.
So how often do you water a bonsai?
Well, you can't really stick to a schedule.
Oh, I see.
It depends on the tree, the pot, the weather.
A lot of factors.
Yeah. So what you want to do is
Okay.
feel the soil.
Finger test, right?
Yeah. Stick your finger in the soil.
Okay.
If it feels dry, it's time to water.
Makes sense.
And when you water,
Mm-hmm.
don't just give it a little splash.
Oh, what do you do?
You want to soak it thoroughly until the soil is completely saturated.
Okay, so that's watering.
Yeah.
What about soil?
Ah, soil.
I can't just use regular potting mix, right?
Well, you could, but it's not ideal.
Why is it?
Bonsai soil is specially formulated.
Okay.
It drains well, but also retains some moisture.
So it's like a Goldilocks situation.
Exactly. Not too wet, not too dry.
Just right.
Right.
And what's in bonsai soil?
It's a mix of things.
Right.
Akadama, pumice, composted bark.
Those are some new words for me.
Akadama is a type of clay, great for drainage.
Okay.
Pumice is a volcanic rock.
Volcanic rock in my bonsai pot.
Yeah, it helps aerate the soil.
So the roots can breathe.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
And then the bark helps retain moisture.
So it's all about that balance.
Balance is key in bonsai.
Gotcha. So we've got watering, soil,
What's next?
fertilizer, right?
Right. Bonsai need nutrients too.
They're in those tiny pots. They got to be hungry.
Exactly. They need that extra boost.
So what kind of fertilizer do we use?
There are specific bonsai fertilizers, or you can use a balanced liquid fertilizer, diluted.
Diluted. Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to overdo it.
Too much fertilizer can hurt the tree.
Exactly. It can burn the roots.
So less is more in this case.
In this case, yes.
We got it.
You only need to fertilize during the growing season.
So spring to fall.
Right.
Okay. Fertilizer, check.
Now for the fun part.
Tuning.
Pruning, the art of shaping.
It seems intimidating.
It can be, but it's also very rewarding.
So where do we even begin?
Well, first, you need to understand the different types of pruning.
Types of pruning.
There's maintenance pruning.
Okay.
That's just keeping things tidy, removing dead branches.
Like a haircut for the bonsai.
Yeah, a good analogy.
So that's maintenance. What else?
Then there's structural pruning.
Structural pruning.
That's where you really shape the tree, create the design.
So that's the artistic part.
You could say that.
And when do we prune?
It depends on the species.
Again with the species, huh?
Yeah. Deciduous trees are pruned in winter, during dormancy.
Okay.
Evergreens are usually pruned after their growth flush.
So spring or summer.
Right.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get this.
And of course, you need the right tools.
Tools, right.
You want some bonsai shears.
Special bonsai shears.
Yeah, they're designed for those precise cuts.
Okay.
You might also need a concave cutter.
Concave cutter, what's that for?
Removing branches flush with the trunk.
So it heals nicely.
Exact.
And keep those tools sharp, right?
Sharp and clean.
Clean cuts.
Absolutely.
All right, so we've pruned our bonsai.
No way.
I'm ready for wiring, the real magic.
Wiring, yes. It's how we create those beautiful curves and bends.
But you're wrapping wire around a tree?
I know, it sounds scary.
It does.
But it's all about being gentle.
Okay, gentle touch.
You're guiding the branches, not forcing them.
And what kind of wire do we use?
Special bonsai wire.
Of course, special bonsai wire.
Usually aluminum or copper.
Okay.
It needs to be flexible but strong.
So it can hold the branches in place.
Exactly.
And how do we know how tight to make it?
You'll get a feel for it over time,
Okay.
but you don't want to damage the bark.
So you're constantly checking, making sure it's not too tight.
Right, it's a constant back and forth.
Between the artist and the tree.
A dance, you could say.
I like that. A dam.
And the timing for wiring.
When do we wire?
Depends on the species.
Oh, come on, not again.
It's true, some trees can be wired year-round. Others are best wired during dormancy.
When they're not actively growing.
Right.
Okay, so we've covered a lot here.
We have the basics of bonsai care.
Watering, soil, fertilizer, pruning, wiring.
It's a lot to take in.
It is, but it's fascinating.
Right.
So what's next?
Let's talk about bonsai styles.
Oh, yeah, the different shapes and forms.
Exactly, the artistry of bonsai.
I'm ready for that.
Let's do it.
Okay, so bonsai styles.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting.
I bet.
Each style has its own unique aesthetic and feel.
So, like, what are some examples?
Well, there's the formal upright style.
Okay.
It's called shokan in Japanese.
Chokan.
Yeah, it represents strength and stability.
So, like a really straight tree.
Exactly. The trunk is perfectly straight, tapering towards the top.
And the branches.
They radiate outwards symmetrically, like a triangle.
I see.
Conifers are often used for this style.
Like pines and spruces.
Yeah, they naturally have that upright shape.
Makes sense. So that's chokin.
But about something a little more relaxed.
Oh, yeah, like a more natural look.
Right. There's the informal upright style,
Yeah.
or moyogi in Japanese.
The Moyogi.
It's like a tree that's been shaped by the wind.
Oh, I see.
The trunk has gentle curves. It's still tapering, but not perfectly straight.
So it's more flowing, more organic.
Exactly. It's a very popular style.
And what kind of trees are used for Moyogi?
Deciduous trees are often a good choice.
Because their branches are more flexible?
Right. They can be trained into those curves.
Like maples and elms.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got formal, upright, informal, upright.
What about something with a little more drama?
Ooh, drama.
Yeah, there's the slanting style.
Slanting styles.
Tekant.
Okay.
The trunk grows at an angle like it's been pushed by the wind.
So it's kind of leaning.
Right, but it's still strong, still resilient.
I like that. It's got character.
Junipers are often used for shakan.
Because they're flexible.
Yeah, their branches can be trained to create that slant.
So we've got upright styles, slanting style.
What about the most dramatic style of all?
Ooh, I'm intrigued. What is it?
The cascading style?
Cascading.
King guy, okay.
The trunk actually grows downward.
Downwards, really?
Yeah, it extends below the bottom of the pot.
Like it's hanging off a cliff.
Exactly. It's a very striking style.
I bet. What kind of trees can do that?
Junipers and pines are often used.
Again, with the flexible branches.
Right. They can create those beautiful cascades.
So, Ken guy, the drama queen of bonsai styles.
You could say that.
Now, I've also seen bonsai with multiple trees in one pot.
Ah, those are called multi-tree plantings.
Multi-tree plantings.
Yozio in Japanese.
Yozio. Okay, so it's like a miniature forest.
Exactly. You can create these beautiful little landscapes.
That's so cool.
You have to arrange the trees carefully, though, to create that sense of harmony.
Right, just like in nature.
So we've covered some basic styles.
We have.
But how do you actually create these styles? Like, what are the techniques?
So we've talked about pruning and wiring.
Right, the fundamentals.
But there are more advanced techniques as well.
Okay, like what?
Defoliation, for example.
Defoliation, that sounds intense.
It is you're removing leaves from the tree.
But why would you do that?
It can help refine the foliage.
Refine the foliage.
Yeah, you get smaller, more delicate leaves.
Interesting.
It can also improve ramification.
Ramification, what's that?
The branching structure.
Oh, okay.
So you get more branches, a denser canopy.
So defoliation is kind of like a reset button for the tree.
In a way, yes.
And what about those bonsai with deadwood features?
Ah, gin and sherry.
Gin and sherry.
They're techniques for creating deadwood on the bonsai.
Deadwood. So it's like intentionally making parts of the tree look dead.
Right. It adds character, a sense of age.
It's been through a lot.
Exactly. It's a very artistic technique.
I bet that takes a lot of skill.
It does. You have to carve and shape the wood very carefully.
Wow. So we've got defoliation, deadwood techniques.
What else?
I've seen bonsai with aerial roots.
Ah, yes, aerial roots.
Those are pretty cool.
They are. They can add a lot of visual interest.
So you can create all sorts of amazing effects with bonsai.
It's really an art form.
It is. It's incredible.
And remember, bonsai is a journey, not a destination.
That's a good way to put it.
You're always learning, always experimenting.
Always growing, just like the bonsai.
Exactly.
Well, this has been an amazing deep dive into the world of bonsai.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did. I learned so much.
Bonsai is a fascinating hobby.
It really is, and anyone can do it.
That's right. You just need patience and a love of trees.
Well said. So to all our listeners out there, if you're thinking about starting a bonsai journey,
Go for it.
go for it. It's a rewarding experience.
And you might just surprise yourself.
Absolutely. All right. That's all for our deep dive today.
Until next time.
Until next time, happy bonsaiing, everyone.